Continuing with Anne Frank's diary, this entry is Monday, November 9th, 1942. While we have this minute, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to build this channel into something even better, but if you're enjoying this reading now, don't forget to hit those two buttons. Dear Kitty, yesterday was Peter's birthday. He was 16. He has some nice parents. Among other things, a game of Monopoly. He got some nice presents. Among other things, a game of Monopoly, a razor, and a lighter. Not that he smokes much. It's really just for show. The biggest surprise came from Mr. Van Daan when at 10 o'clock he announced that the British had landed in Tunis, Algiers, Casablanca, and Oran. This is the beginning of the end, everyone's saying, but Churchill, the British Prime Minister, who had probably heard the same thing in England, said, "This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Do you see the difference? There is certainly reason for optimism. Stalingrad, the Russian town which they've already been defending for 3 months, still hasn't fallen into German hands." Stalingrad was where the big battle where Russia fought Germany. It was one of the biggest battles in world history. But to return to affairs in our secret den, I must tell you about our food supply. As you know, we have some really greedy pigs on the top floor. We get our bread from a nice baker, a friend of Couperus. We don't get as much as we used to at home, naturally, but it's sufficient. 4 ration carts have also been bought illegally. Their price is going up all the time. It has now gone up from 27 florins to 33, and all of that for a little slip of printed paper. In order to have something in the house that will keep apart from our 150 tins of vegetables, we have bought 270 pounds of dried peas and beans. They are not all for us. Some are for the office people. They are in sacks which hang on hooks in our little passage, inside the hidden door. Owing to the weight of the contents, a few stitches in the sack burst open, so we decided it would be better to put our winter store in the attic, and Peter was given the job of dragging it all up there. He had managed to get 5 of the 6 stacks upstairs intact, and was just busy pulling up number 6 when the bottom seam of the sack split in the shower. No, a positive hailstorm of brown beans came pouring down, rattling down the stairs. There were about 50 pounds in the sack, and the noise was enough to wake the dead. Downstairs, throughout the old house, with its contents, was coming down on them. Thank God there were no strangers in the house. It gave Peter a moment's fright, but he was soon roaring with laughter, especially when he saw me standing at the bottom of the stairs like a little island in the middle of a sea of beans. I was entirely surrounded to my ankles in beans. Quickly he started to pick them up, but beans are so slippery and small that they seem to roll into all the possible and impossible corners and holes. Now every time anyone goes downstairs, they bend down once or twice in order to be able to present Mrs. Van Daan with a handful of beans. I'd almost forgotten to mention that Daddy is quite better again. Yours, Anne.
Keanu! What was that?
P.S. The news had just come over. He was attacking my other cat. One of my cats attacks the other one.
Be nice to your sister.
P.S. The news had just come over the radio that Algiers had fallen. Morocco, Casablanca, and Oran had been in British hands for several days. Now we're waiting for Tunis. That was from the Diary of Anne Frank. The fireworks in the background are the weekly fireworks that happen at Waikiki at the Hawaii Hilton Hotel. I live on the outskirts of Waikiki in Honolulu, Hawaii. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, and aloha.